Hello, people of the sun. How you doing? All right, this episode is going to be about trying to make some repairs to something that has been broken for a very long time. The History Channel has made a lot of claims about how certain pyramids and certain monuments of Mesoamerica have been attributed to aliens. This is a racist and it is a far-fetched claim that is used to profit. But it is our responsibility as the inheritors of these cultures to try to make amends and try to set the record straight as far as what it is that it truly means. There has been a lot of work being done for the Maya, there has been a lot of work done for the Aztec, and so this episode is about the Stella of Pakal. Ancient aliens believe that it's an astronaut. It is not an astronaut. Today it is a day to set the record straight. Thank you very much, and let's go. When one looks at the Stella of Pakal or any other Mesoamerican monuments, it is hard to understand what's going on. That much I can understand. It is a very different culture. It happened a very long time ago, and the way people looked at life, it is very different from the way we look at life today. But the History Channel obviously makes an attempt to make outlandish claims for the sake of profit. When a child looks at the Pakal Stela, it is probably not going to know what is going on. I don't know if a child will be brave enough to say that it is a spaceship, mainly because of the flames at the bottom of the stela. But the fact of the matter is that even a child will be hesitant to make that type of conclusion. So the History Channel also has a lot of muscle. It can interview whoever they want. They have a lot of money. They can interview people from INA, which they don't. They can interview people from UNAM and the archaeological department. They don't. Instead, they interview people from American universities that are somehow listed in IMDb credits, meaning that they are somehow associated with filmmaking or film reporting. This takes away a little bit from the credibility of these so-called professionals, but these professionals, they only take little excerpts of the real archaeology, and then they backfill the rest with cockamamie stories about aliens. And so this leaves us at a great disadvantage, particularly us people that live here in America, because there's very little research and very little education as far as real Mexican or Mesoamerican archaeology. And so when Mexican Americans or Mexican people or anybody receives this type of garbage on their television, they probably believe it's true. And so since the History Channel and the American educational systems have made such a great attempts as to try to close off any of the real research that has been done by Mexican and Latin American universities as far as what does Pakal Stela in this example is, it is a great disservice to the people that live here in this continent. And it's also kind of racist in my opinion. Mexicans like myself have had to create departments within universities to try to somehow find a sense of meaning and a sense of history to their own identity with majors like Chicana studies. And so therefore we need to understand who we are, and YouTube, thank goodness for YouTube, it is a great avenue for us to be able to do so. The Stella of Pakal is particularly important for any Mexican or any people from Mesoamerica. The reason why is because it is one of the greatest examples and definitions of what is the role of a king, a Tlatoani in this case, in regards to the afterlife, the magical land of the Maya when it comes to drug-induced visions. if we can call it that way, and also what is he as far as a socio-political leader. First of all, this is the Stella of Pakal. The Stella of Pakal is framed by a litany of what is Pakal supposed to do in the afterlife. And then the inside of the stela, it is what he's actually supposed to be doing in the afterlife. Pakal, it is not sitting in a spaceship. He is sitting on a throne, and the throne is on top of the god Chak. We can see Chak all over the Maya region. We can see him a little bit in Teotihuacan, in the pyramid of Quetzalcoatl. And this god Chak is the god of rain, wind, prosperity, fertility. Now, the Stella of Pakal was not meant to see by commoners. This stela was hidden deep inside the pyramid of Pakal, and it was only meant to be seen by royals. It was probably displayed right before Pakal was buried, but it was meant to be seen by priests and by people of the royal lines. And as such, the message that is embedded in this stone, it is closest to how the royal people saw themselves, and they saw their ancestors, and how they saw political power. Now, the symbols in the frame of this stela are not hard to deduce. The first symbol here displayed is the symbol Ek. The symbol Ek is representative of the planet Venus, and it not only represents Venus, it represents Venus in connection to the sun. Venus in relation to announcing that the sun is coming, or announcing that the sun is going to set. And so therefore, this planet has very deep meaning for the Maya, and also for the Zapotec, and for many other Mesoamerican cultures. The reason why is because it was able to measure how long is the sun has until it sets, and how much does it have for it to rise. The planet Venus has also been associated by the god Kukulkan in the Maya religion. In the pyramid of Chichen Itza, Kukulkan is viewed as a god of balance, a god of the one that brings fruits from the heavens, as a type of heavenly messenger. The next symbol here displayed symbolizes travel, or stretching, or going from one place to the other. Now, we also have to understand that the one symbol is not an isolated symbol. One symbol is a continuation of its symbol, or it can be separate. But the conjugation of the symbols is up to the reader. The next symbol here is Jal. Jal is the symbol of creation. In fact, if we look at the mask of Chak on top of the pyramid of Chichen Itza, El Castillo, we can see the symbol as well. So therefore, we can assume that the symbol of Jal, it is somehow associated with Chak, and with bringing forward of life and bringing forward of balance. The next symbol is Tal, which stands for travel or change. This next symbol is Mal, which stands for portal to the underworld, that is symbolically happened to Pakal. So far, one can guess that what the symbols say. With the power of Venus that orbits with Quetzalcoatl's power of creation, travels with me into the underworld. So if we mix all of these symbols, we can kind of gather a little bit of a sentence. And the sentence basically means that with the power of Venus, I bring forward the powers of creation to make the to and fro of life happen. And so Pakal definitely saw himself as a type of a divine creature, or a god that is able to create life. And one can see this even more with this tree, which is the tree of life, or the tree of creation. The tree of creation happens a lot. We have seen that a lot in many other glyphs. We can see them in vases. We can see them here in the Stella of Pakal. We can see it in some glyphs. And as such, we can see this tree as a representation of the conduit of connection between the underworld, the terrestrial world, and the heavens above. The next symbol is Tan. Tan is a type of symbol that brings everything together. So when we are talking about the tree of life, or this tree of creation, This tree also has 4 cardinal points. And these cardinal points also represents the power of each one of the gods based on their cardinal point, like in the Aztec calendar. But this particular tree is also bisected by 2 creation gods. These snake gods, Tepeo and Gucumat. So now we can get inside the tree a little bit more. The bottom part of the tree, it is where beneath the face of chalk. This is not fire, as the ancient alien guys say. It is actually blood. This is the reason why the people from Mesoamerica believe that the gods demanded sacrifices of blood. Because the land of the underworld, the land of the dead, needed to be moved through rivers of blood. Now, this also comes from some Teotihuacan legends about sacrifice. Teotihuacan was supposed to be a place where gods had to sacrifice themselves to make the sun move again. There was supposed to be a time when the sun did not move. It was probably a big cloud that covered Teotihuacan. And according to tradition, the gods of Teotihuacan had to sacrifice themselves so that the sacrifices will be able to make the world move, or the sun move in this instance. And so the bottom part of the Stella of Pakal, it is not flames, is blood. Then sitting on top of the blood is the god Chak, the god of fertility, the god of creation, the god of formation. Now these little symbols right here, the cross upon cross, is the sign for life. So when you put a cross within the cross, it represents life within life. Meaning that somehow Pakal has powers of life within life, kind of like a seed within a seed. Now the position of Pakal at the base of the tree of life, or the tree of creation, and traveling up, it basically means that Pakal is somehow in power of the powers of the tree of creation, and will climb up through the tree, through the gates of Tepeo and Gucumat, the creation gods, and all the way to the bird on top. The bird on top is represented as something that we can see as the soul. The Egyptians kind of had a very similar symbol, a ska. I have not seen what is the name of that bird in Maya literature, but according to legend and according to some other texts, this bird represents a type of soul or essence that is given to the tree of creation. And in this regard, this tree of creation passes its soul to all living creatures, not only in the heavens and this world, but also in the underworld. Now, next to the tree, we have these little shields, and these are the shields of Pakal. It seems like there's one on the left and one on the right. If Pakal also had powers of the left and powers of the right. Now there are also a lot of small symbols here and there in this Pakal structure, but they are not as important as the ones that I was speaking of today. In the future, hopefully I will make another episode as to what do these symbols mean. They're mostly more than anything decorations, and there are a couple of symbols that I missed. But I hope you enjoyed this episode, and it sets the record straight that it is not an alien, it is Pakal going through the world of the underworld, this world, and the heavens. Anyway, thank you very much, and have a great one. Bye-bye.